Having a wonk nose?
Well, we just have to do what we do best. Welcome, everybody, to Wednesday's episode of Two's Company Three's a Podcast, also known as 2C3 Pod. We are Newcastle's #1 premier movie, TV, and gaming podcast. My name is Dylan, as always, with my co-host,
Mitchell, and we are excited today because, as Dylan said, it's Wednesday, so that means we're going to hit you with the freshest news and a hot review later in the show. So we are keen in our brand new studio.
Yes, it's very echoey in here. It's going to take me a while to get used to that.
Yeah, it's going to take a while to get back to our comfortable nature because it's going to sound a bit funny for a while, but maybe not for the listeners. It's still going to be perfect quality for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
As long as you can stand our voices. But while we're on the topic of talking, we're calling home and chopping off that zero because it's time for 2C3 Pod, Wayne Gretzky's record book. Okay, all right.
Yep.
Fourth time's a charm. Here's the quote for the week. Look what I've created. I've made fire. I said that completely not in the tone that it's in the movie.
Well, that doesn't help me at all.
Look what I've created. I've made fire.
Okay, that still doesn't help me.
Come
I don't know, year one?
Oh, that's Tom Hanks in Castaway.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I fucked up.
Big fan. No, I wouldn't
It's
have
been
known
like
that
10 years
quote.
since I've seen that movie, but I know I've said it on the podcast previously that I do love that movie.
Oh, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we said it last week, which gave me the idea for this
Yes.
week's theme, Hint for Friday.
Okay,
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's right.
Yes.
Anyway, as we said at the top of the show, it is time for Wednesday with the fresh news and the review later in the week. But before we get into that, ripping a few Band-Aids off, just house cleaning.
Yes.
If you'd like to support the show, we do have PayPal up and running, Two's Company Three's a Podcast at gmail.com. But do not forget, we want you to become patrons of the show.
Absolutely.
For a very low fee, you can get a few bonus things and support the show. And every dollar and dime and cent that comes out of that comes straight back to helping this show produce. I mean, Dylan just rented a new house just for this room.
Just for this room.
Just for
with
this room.
ducted air conditioning and clean, echoey goddamn walls. Anyway, you can be a patron over at patreon.com. You can search Two's Company Three's a Podcast. There's 4 tiers to join. Just go the lowest one. That's fine.
Oh,
I mean, do the other ones. Like, of course, like go up. There's a $20 one if you really want to get adventurous. But
we will become your best friend. Best friend for the rest of time. But even if that's too much effort, PayPal, Two's Company Three's a Podcast at gmail.com. Swing us 20 cents. Swing us 10 cents. It doesn't matter at all. Anything that you say, hey, here's good job, we'll take. We'll take. Simple as that.
But speaking of good jobs, we've talked about this many times on the podcast before. And
have we?
Now it's moving into 2020. We're moving into a new year, of course.
We're well into it. January's gone.
Yeah, January is out the window.
Yes.
Welcome to February. But one of the biggest, I wouldn't say disappointments, but expected letdowns of last year, as you could probably already guess before I even say the name of the film, is Terminator Dark Fate.
Oh, I don't think anybody was guessing that because that is so far forgotten.
Oh, true.
I mean, I'm being serious.
Yeah.
I thought I was expecting either Doolittle Cats, and I'm like, dude, we didn't expect shit from those.
Yeah, well, I forgot that they existed. So
exactly.
Yeah, so I think people remember this movie more than those ones.
But why?
But, yes, so recently Linda Hamilton has come out and said again over the internet that, she would be very happy if she was to never ever return to the franchise. And
man, you gotta love that.
yeah, and the thing is with, like, I love Terminator, but it was a big fucking pile of shit.
Oh, yeah.
But I think her performance was okay. It's just let down by a bad film.
By a bad script.
Yeah.
For her. Her dialogue in particular felt so forced and cliche and run-of-the-mill and repeat.
Yeah.
It was just, nothing about this movie.
The strange thing, though, is that she's saying the same things that a lot of fans of the franchise are saying. She's saying it would have worked better on a smaller budget. It would have done this, it would have done that. But I have a feeling she's just echoing what the fans
how old
have
is Linda
said.
Hamilton now? She's like in her 60s?
Oh, I think so, yeah. Like, she's pretty old. I mean, she worked hard to be able to fit, this kind of role as like a warrior woman.
Oh, definitely.
Which is quite, good. And this is the first big blockbuster film that I've seen her in many years, considering she is the Ellen Ripley of this franchise.
No, that's exactly right. But unlike Sigourney Weaver, she doesn't have the acting chops to hold up a movie that isn't based around what she became famous for, Like, I know she's been picking up work, and I know she's been busy, and I know she's got way more zeros in her bank account than I do.
Yes, absolutely. She can fight. She's fine.
No discredit to her at all, but unfortunately, unlike Sigourney Weaver, she hasn't found that tool to become versatile across the board. Yeah. It's more just, that's Linda from Terminator, you know,
Yeah,
like
that's
she's been
right.
pigeonholed as that. Whereas Sigourney Weaver, everyone goes, "Oh, that's Sigourney Weaver.
She's from such and such and
She's
this and that and
exactly,
this and that. You know?
yeah.
Obviously, most memorable, I think, is from the Alien
Oh
franchise.
no, of course."
But
And
she's been in...
Alien made her, you know.
Oh,
as
that one from Cabin in the Woods. Yeah, like,
no,
she's done had
that's
an
right. I
amazing
mean,
career.
for fuck's sake, she was in Paul with Seth Rogen.
She
and,
was.
like as
What
the
a great
voice.
film.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But her words, out of all of the articles that I've seen on this,
Yeah.
the main sort of snippet of words that they're bringing from this is, it should definitely not be such a high-risk financial venture, but I would be quite happy never to return. So no, I am not hopeful because I would really love to be done.
Yeah.
Like she's like, I mean, she was already done, but obviously, you know, James Cameron, her ex-husband, had to call her up and say, "Do you want to come back for a new Terminator?" Blah 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 blah. Then there was that infighting between Jim Cameron and Tim Miller, the director. Like everything except for Arnold was like leading this movie down the path, the exact same path, except a worse one than the previous films. Like even Genesis was as dumb as it is. I don't think you've seen it.
No, is that the Christian Bale one?
No, that's Salvation. We've talked about this.
No,
Yeah.
Genesis. Yeah, no. Yeah, I've seen it because he's like
Jason Clarke?
babysitting these kids, like these mid-20-year-old people.
What?
I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't know. But yeah, no,
different film.
I have. I'm sure I've seen it. There's a scene in like a
Anyway,
Yeah.
What was I saying?
Big fan.
What was I saying? Where was I going with
Something
that?
about James Cameron calling his ex-wife.
Yeah, calling up to Linda Hamilton to be in this film, and like now they've done that, she's gone, why the fuck did I even bother?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
So,
No, more or less. I feel like yes, it's all right for her to say now I'll be done with it because I think this franchise is done.
Yeah.
I think it's done for at least another 10, 15 years to
that's
the point where they
yeah.
can finally get a new audience and then hopefully fucking learn from the mistakes.
Yeah.
That's the big thing.
what some people are saying, which I find quite interesting, is that they're wanting this to rest for at least 10 to 15 years and then bring it back
Exactly.
in like a lower budget Netflix style streaming thing, because streaming is the future, considering people still go to the movies more than ever, has been proven.
Fucking A. Yeah.
But this franchise deserves to be drawn away from massive, big, blockbuster, overblown budget cinema fucking... Because that's not what the first one was.
No.
You know, it needs to go back to its roots.
Yeah.
But the same thing can be said for the Hellraiser franchise.
Yes.
And the reason I say this is because people are wanting the next big Hellraiser film to come to cinemas and be a massive success.
That's not
But
what...
yeah, one of the directors and the director of the most recent Hellraiser Judgment, Gary Tunnicliffe, who worked on almost all of the films.
Oh, really?
He
In
like, as
what capacity?
makeup and costume design.
Yeah.
He's come out and said nobody wants to be in Hellraiser 10.
That's
It's
exactly right.
not Freddy Krueger. It's
100%.
It's not Jason. It's not Michael Myers.
No.
The reason Halloween and Halloween Kills is so big because it's not fucking Pinhead.
Exactly.
It hasn't been driven into the ground as bad as that franchise, but Terminator is heading in the exact same thing.
Yes, that's right. Nobody wants to star in Terminator Doomsday. Like, you
Yeah,
know, because,
that's right.
Because, oh, fuck, there's been 6 of those already.
Yeah,
so,
and
no,
even this
yeah.
one really shows that any further sequels are going to try and recapture what the best one did.
That's exactly
and
right.
unless they change the fucking formula, it's not going to be successful. So hopefully Hollywood have learned.
Yes.
And they've heard that fans, even if they do make a fantastic film in the next one, the fans aren't going to pay to see it.
No, that's right. And
Yeah.
like you said with Hellraiser, it's not about Pinhead and never has been like center focus. It's not a huge draw card as it should be.
As much as people think, like people regard Pinhead as up there with like Michael Myers and all of that. People consider him that classic 80s villain, but he's nowhere near as big as people think he is.
No, you see, that's the thing. You can say to somebody, Jason, Michael, Freddy, you know, and that comes to mind pretty fucking quick about the horror villain.
I think Hellraiser's a fairly special film though. Like it took me a long time to see it, and when I did, it blew my mind. But it's not the sort of thing like Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th. Like teenagers can watch those films.
Yes,
teenagers cannot watch Hellraiser. They cannot watch Hellraiser, and the reason is they'll be bored.
Yes,
because
no,
nothing happens until the last 10 minutes. But the whole film is fantastic.
Yes,
and I could go on about that, but we've got separate ideas.
We will get that video special done once I've actually forced myself to watch those last couple.
Oh, you should, man. I recommend them.
Yes.
But anyway, speaking of other horror things, this episode this week is chock full of horror-esque style things, and I'm in love.
A-okay with that.
Yeah, but did you have anything more to say about Terminator before we really nailed it in the coffin?
I didn't want to say anything about Terminator.
Excellent, great. But what about Rick Moranis?
Yes.
I mean, Taron Egerton.
Oh. Why'd you do that?
Yeah, Rick Moranis,
Yes.
I mean, Taron Egerton, just as good, is possibly going to head the Little Shop of Horrors remake.
I'm
Now,
totally fine with that, man.
Yeah.
This is one that I honestly thought never would get a remake because it's just known as that like cult movie that everybody like adores almost. And it's just stayed there and nobody's been like, oh, I'd love to see that again. But now that it's happening, I'm like, okay.
I'm down with that.
All right, why not? I mean,
the fact that
worst comes to worst, we've still got the original.
Yeah, and that's like a lot of people with a lot of remakes. They go, we don't need it. Like,
Oh, we
okay.
do that. We do do that.
I'm so that's
absolutely.
it. But they have like, for example, 2014's remake of RoboCop.
Yes.
Didn't tarnish the original.
No, exactly. And that's the key point. Like, it's in, I've bitched and moaned about the fucking Michael Bay and Platinum Dunes fucking up Freddy and Jason in those remakes. I can still go back and watch all the originals that I adore.
That's right. There's nothing...
As much as it ruined the potential of them getting sequels and rebooting the franchise.
Yeah.
At the same time, I mean, I've still got the originals to go back on. And it could have been great.
I will always be happy if they ever decide to remake shot for shot, but with modern technology, Jason X.
Oh, man.
Because that's such a bad movie
that
would work so well with modern cinema.
But I adore that movie for all the wrong reasons.
I've only seen it once, and I remember watching this going, this is fantastic.
I've got it on DVD, man. Like, it's amazing. But like, the scene where he shoves his face to like the dry freeze stuff and that, and pulls it out and then mushes. Oh, fuck, it's so good. If you haven't seen Jason X and you get a bit tipsy one night and you want to watch a schlocky, terrible, good movie.
Yeah, definitely Jason X.
But Little Shop of Horrors.
He basically turns into like a giant RoboCop-esque kind of fucking thing. He's got a slick suit, but
doesn't even make sense. But
Little Shop of Horrors, if you don't know about it, it's quintessential 80s. Rick Moranis stars as like the owner of a little shop of horrors where over the night, like these plants come to life and they talk and they eat people or something. I can't quite remember. It's been a very long time.
It has been a long time for me too.
But, you know, with all the remakes that are coming out these days, this was eventually going to get its turn. And I'm surprised it hasn't had more sequels. I don't think it's had any sequels.
I don't think so. I'll look that up.
Yeah. The only problem, though, that this is going to have is that they most definitely won't have complete practical effects.
No, that's right.
And that's what makes these movies so brilliant.
Charming. They have that charm. They have that 80s charm about them, you know? Yeah. Well, the Little Shop of Horrors does, yes.
Yeah. That actually brings me back to another point about Terminator before.
Let's get down those rabbit holes, bro.
Yeah. Is that there was a video I saw on YouTube yesterday comparing Terminator Dark Fate to Terminator 2, how they're going... Tim Miller is like, oh, here's CGI there, CGI here, these wheels aren't moving, this and that. And James Cameron, in a special features from Terminator 2, is like, yeah, no, that helicopter is literally flying under a bridge.
That's insane.
You know, that's the difference.
Crazy. Yeah.
That's the difference. You can make things with the risk and the passion, or you can slap it together later.
Yes, exactly. And as we saw in a trailer that we'll be reviewing on Friday, there's a lot of that dodgy looking...
Yeah, but Little Shop of Horrors, I feel, is going to be the same thing. I think Taron Egerton is a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
For a young bloke, he's doing very well.
He's exploding, man. He's getting big.
I thought he was going to be typecast a little bit after his entrance into Hollywood with The Kingsman.
Yeah.
As that typical UK brat. But he also did a very good, slick James Bond-esque kind of thing. So in that film, he kind of played two roles.
Yes.
But then he steps 100%. Outside of that, and he's done, you know, Eddie the Eagle. He's done...
he did Rocket Man.
Yeah, he's played Elton John. So I think he's got a wide range of acting skills, which is surprising for a young bloke like that.
No, that's right. And I think it's only going to serve him well, and we definitely haven't heard the last of him being a headline guy.
No, absolutely.
100%. He's on the up big time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm very excited for Little Shop of Horrors. As far as I saw, 0 sequels, and it's a remake of a 1960 film.
Is it?
Yeah. So 1960 was the original one. 1986 that was the one that we all know fondly. Yeah. And now 20, 30, 4 years later, it's time, I guess.
Let's do it. Yeah. So hopefully we'll get us, you know, Little Shop of Horrors. The rumors as well surrounding this. It is Warner Bros. They're eyeing like Lady Gaga and Scarlett Johansson as well. There's a few sort of actors and people of, what's the word? Popularity, essentially, are being thrown around for this. So I'm interested to see where this goes, but we'll certainly all follow it going along.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The next bit of news that you had here, and keeping up to that theme with the horror this week, Silent Hill and Fatal Frame movies are reportedly in development.
Yeah, now, this is weird, because Silent Hill hasn't been good for a while.
Now, I'm going to throw out my gaming hat here.
Mm-hmm.
These are games, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because part of me was like, I swear, I'm not sure. But yeah, Fatal Frame sounds like a movie.
Yeah, well, it will be now, apparently.
Yeah,
so there's been reports that Christopher Gans, director of Brotherhood of the Wolf and the original 2006 movie, which I will contest to this day, Silent Hill, the film from 2006 is the best video game adaptation film ever. Despite there being flaws in the story, I think it does the best in terms of adapting an actual story from a game, especially the first two, and putting it into film. I think it was fucking brilliant. Sean Bean's in it for some reason, but if they cut his whole arc out, it would be quintessential Silent Hill. Essentially, very brief synopsis. They've adopted this young girl.
So there's the hill, right? And then, like, they go up there, but they just can't talk.
They fucking can't hear anything. It's just quiet.
There's an old lady behind a desk just randomly on this hill, and anytime you speak, she's shh. Stop it. This is a hill.
Did you see the name?
Yes.
Silent.
Yeah. Stop it. But anyway.
Shut up, bitch.
Anyway, sorry. Moving on. Yeah.
So essentially, Silent Hill, I'm going to butcher this for the Silent Hill fans out there, but there's a girl who's been adopted, and then over time, life essentially drags them back to the town she was born in, known as Silent Hill, because there's another half of her who's essentially taken over the town. Like when she was born, her soul was ripped in two. They thought she was a witch. So they burnt her. And, you know, the angry half has stayed in Silent Hill and taken over the town with horrendous monsters that essentially encapsulate the demons within the player or the character. There's a character. Have you seen Silent Hill from 2006, the movie?
See, I thought I had, but then you just described that, and I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Oh, man. It's another one to add to your list of movies because it's fucking fantastic. I think you'd really like it.
Yeah.
The sequel, which is in continuation, called Revelations, Silent Hill Revelations, I think. It sucked. Huge dick.
Revelation.
It was really, really, really unbelievably bad. But the first one was really good. Yeah. And essentially, I think, you know, to be able to bring that back as a movie again, especially from the same guy, I think will work. The only problem with this, before I get on to Fatal Frame, is that, as I said, there hasn't been a Silent Hill game in like 10 years, maybe?
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. Maybe they're looking at this as an opportunity to make it appear like it's a brand new original film, you know? Like
possibly, but this news is coming off the back of rumors that Konami, for whatever reason, is planning a soft reboot of Silent Hill.
Okay.
Now, Hideo Kojima originally had the PT playable teaser on the PlayStation only, which ended up being his version of Silent Hills. After Konami and him had a falling out, he eventually went on to make Death Stranding.
Yes.
Because Norman Reedus was the main protagonist
in PT.
Of PT, that's right. That was going to be Silent Hill.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, holy fuck, that's next level. Like this franchise in itself is already so ambiguous to the point where people are like, people still don't understand it. Yeah. But to that was like, fuck, this guy knows what he's doing. I'm glad to obviously say that he's doing horror games moving forward, as we've discussed on the podcast previously. But in terms of Konami, soft rebooting the Silent Hill franchise on their own, without someone like Kojima, they may have somebody else in their ring to be like, hey, let's get this guy on.
I'm sure there's many talented people, but whether or not it's going to have that touch.
I don't think so. But whether the movie is really warranted.
I mean, like I said, I think it's because it's been so long that they can make it appear like, hey, look at this brand new concept we've got going on, even if just to fool teenagers into buying tickets, you know, because you know how they love those M-rated like horror movies. So.
Yeah, well, the first Silent Hill is, I think it's a hard R, man. Like, it's up there. Its themes are really dark. The characters, as I said before, because the enemies in the games represent demons within the player, in the movie they include a character called Pyramid Head, which is this really tall, lanky thing. He's got a big pyramid character, has a big sword. Yeah, that represents like I can't remember exactly what it is, but sexual frustrations within the character you are playing.
Shit, mine's huge.
It's got nothing to do with the characters in the movie, but he looks cool.
Okay,
so they could run with this and go, well, the monsters are made from the demons within the characters. Yeah. Let's create something new.
Yeah, exactly. Why the hell not? And it was MA15+, so it was up there.
But in the end, someone just gets ripped to anyway.
Spoilers!
Yeah.
Come on.
But in Silent Hill 2, the one that I have played most recently, there's an enemy in it. I want to explain this to you and the listeners because it's fantastic.
Okay.
This is how fucked up this franchise is when it first started. There's an enemy called Abstract Daddy. So when you enter the room,
it sounds like a pimp. I'm Abstract Daddy, baby. You got my cash, bitch.
You got my cash, bitch.
Jesus.
Anyway,
get back on the street, you motherfucker.
You walk into a room where this woman is being attacked by this thing called Abstract Daddy because the monster is based on her background.
Okay.
It's essentially it's a square shape like a door with legs, and on the top of it, it looks like a fat human being underneath a blanket on top of a woman. And it chases you, and you're in a room that looks like the inside of a uterus, and there's like the theme is she was raped by her father, and that's the monster.
Oh, Abstract Daddy was her daddy.
Essentially.
Ooh,
yeah. So that's how deep and dark these themes go. So like, I just hope that this guy, Christopher Gans, who did a really good job with the first, understands the franchise enough to really hone in on how messed up these things can really be and create characters that have really deep and dark issues which can come to life in these fucking horrific characters. Are you looking it up now? Do you see it? Yeah.
That's just uncomfortable.
Yep.
Holy shit.
So the sexy nurses, they got their tits out but their faces are all fucked up. They're all representative of the characters' inner demons.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Silent Hill, man. The things that attack you are the things that have been attacking you over your entire life.
Yeah, that is fucked up.
Yeah, so well deserving of a film.
Seriously, I just recommend to the listeners, Google image Abstract Daddy. There's like minimal screenshots from the games and stuff.
Yeah, but this thing's fucking weird.
There's like statues that people have made and concept art, and oh my lord.
Yeah.
That thing comes chasing at me, I'm just going to go, nah, done with life.
Yeah.
Bang.
Yeah. So if you like Hellraiser and those kind of grotesque characteristics of characters, like you'll love this sort of shit.
Now, you've already been down a smidge of a rabbit hole with Silent Hill, but Fatal Frames, I have no idea, just giving you a brief rundown.
Okay, so Fatal Frame is a game that I haven't played, but it is an oldish game now. I believe there's only one in the franchise, but... Oh,
no, I can already see here. There's Fatal Frame 2001 on PlayStation 2, and then Fatal Frame 2 in 2003 and 2005.
Yeah, so there are a few of them. Yeah. Essentially, it's a Japanese horror game where in order to find or to capture these ghosts that are haunting you, you have to snap a photo of them.
Okay, right.
So when you take the photo,
frames.
So when you take a photo, they snap and then they're in front of you and scary stuff. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
Haven't played the games. Interesting concept, but apparently, as we said just before, that hasn't done anything since 2014, and I haven't even heard of that one.
I was going to say that one looks different. That's why I didn't list it just before. But 2014.
Most people consider Fatal Frame as a game from the early 2000s.
I was going to say between 2001 and 2005, so 4 year span, there was 3 of them.
Yeah.
So I mean,
why the hell is this getting a movie now?
Well, again, it's like.
People love this shit.
Literally, if it came out, so-and-so's directing new Fatal Frame film, I'd be like, ooh, that sounds interesting, because I don't know the games.
Yeah.
You know? So
but that's it. Even people like
would work.
Even people like me who do know the games and are aware of them go, that's intriguing. But the question that I pose, being a fan of these older sort of horrors, go like, why now? Is there another one on the way? Because usually games ever going to get adapted to film if another one is either on the way or has just been out.
Well, I'm never 100% right on this podcast, but I'm going to throw something out to you right now that I'm pretty sure I've just done the digging. Fatal Frames is the 1996 film.
Okay.
And then it became a 2001 game.
So is it based on a film?
It's based off a film. Fatal Frames from 1996.
I did not know that. Let's have a quick Google as well.
It may be completely wrong, but then there is actually a Fatal Frame film from 2014 that is Japanese. Japanese.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so...
that's interesting, because I'm going to have to do more digging into that, because I've only really seen the few of these
I may be
articles.
wrong, that Fatal Frame film from 1996 may be completely unrelated.
Yeah, well,
but
let's have a look.
There is definitely a Fatal Frame film from Japan. Yeah. So they're probably going to be remaking that, probably not too traditional to the actual games.
Okay, well, I'm just going through the Wikipedia very quickly, because being live on air, can't really go
most
digging
reliable
for
source as well.
Absolutely, yes, of course. It only shows like video games and related art, seeing like other games in the franchise, but I'm going to have to do some digging into those films to see whether they're related or not, but that'd be very interesting.
Well, the 2014 one looks almost like it definitely is, like from Japan, but the other one, I'm not 100%. But either way, I think this might, if that Fatal Frames film from 2014 is a Japanese product based off these games, I almost guarantee they're just going to remake that. It won't do much, won't have much to do with the actual games.
Yeah, possibly.
As we've seen in the
apparently,
past.
all of these, like the Fatal Frame film, essentially, that's being sort of speculated is being produced or directed or written or some kind of relation to the same guy, Christopher Gans, who's doing the Silent Hill remake. And ones who did it before. Now, another problem, I know I'd go on about this sort of thing and I get very passionate about it, but when a filmmaker makes a video game film and it either succeeds or it doesn't in some sort of capacity, and then they come back to it years later to make either a sequel or another reboot, but it's the same guy. Yeah. Sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes it does. Case in point, Hitman. I think I've talked about this before. The Timothy Olyphant Hitman from 2006. Off the back, I think it was
2007, I believe.
Off the back of Hitman Blood Money, which is a fantastic game. That movie was quite good. It turns out he
2007.
He wasn't a clone, essentially. He was just a young boy who was raised to be the hitman. In the games, he was like a clone. Yeah. And then Agent 47 comes out many years later with Rupert Friend. Yeah. Same director, same writer. It's copying Avengers-style action. The story is fucking dumb. Yeah. What do you do when there's like a full room of people? And the secondary character goes, you try and sneak away? Which is what you would do. No, he goes, kill them all. I was like, you wouldn't fucking do that. You're supposed to like leave the world around you untouched in this fucking franchise, and you murder everybody. You're cutting heads off. Yeah. No, stop. Oh, fuck. Yeah. But I trust this guy.
Yeah, but we need a YouTube video of just reviewing the Hitman films.
Oh man, I could go on.
Yeah, I just want to sit back and just have a drink and just watch you carry it all.
I reckon I could go through and make like a YouTube series like reviewing video game adaptations and be like, I can't do this, I can't do that. Like, that's all it would be.
And then just have me going, you're probably right. Yes. Yeah. But, okay, no, that's fair enough. But,
but another thing I want to talk about while we're still in the news segment is speculation over the last couple of weeks. Resident Evil Netflix series begins shooting in June.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
I am more than okay with this because I don't mind adaptations into series.
Yes.
I am okay with that.
And we've talked about this last week.
Yes.
I was like, oh, there's something happening, but I don't quite know what it is.
Yeah.
And it still hasn't been officially announced.
Yep.
The guys who dug up the information based on The Witcher, before that was officially announced.
Oh, right, yeah.
Have dug up information based on this.
Oh, so it's kind of like those guys who do the data mining on Fortnite and get the updates before the update, and they say, look out for this. Yeah,
okay. It's those guys. Yep. There's a group of people out there who go spoiling everything for everybody.
Yeah.
And whatever, I don't care.
That's fine. It gives us something to talk about.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it fills that out.
My lord, I cannot believe after so many decades of Resident Evil, they are still stealing umbrellas like bitches.
Right?
I know.
They just fucking leave them alone. Like,
I know.
How many monsters do they have to go out in the world to collect these umbrellas?
How many guys with hair lips do they have to get through to get those umbrellas?
Yeah.
For any new listeners, I'm not a gamer, so I just guess what games are based around off-key words. Dylan is a gamer, so he's playing along. But
yes. Absolutely, because I'm the gamer, I'm the one playing. But anyway, Resident Evil Netflix. Yeah. That's apparently happening.
No,
so
I'm okay with that, man. Like, I've got no issue with that at all. Netflix is always coming out with the new content, and every now and then they hit gold. Yeah. Maybe piece of shit, but hey, we'll never know.
Hey, the last thing they came out with...
we'll never know. No, we will know when it comes out. Yes. As long as they take their time with it and don't rush it.
The last video game adaptation that they helmed is The Witcher.
Oh,
and that's being like bigger than fucking Game of Thrones. So if they treat this...
Careful. I'm not a Game of Thrones fan, but I don't want to piss people off.
Fuck them.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, your shit season ending, your shit fucking finale ending.
And The Witcher just happened to include the best song of existence. Toss a coin to your Witcher. Yeah, the metal covers of that are amazing. Yes. But if they treat this with the same care and attention that they did with that, I'm sure this will be fine.
As long as it's given the appropriate Netflix budget, which I'm sure it will because they love throwing money around.
Absolutely.
But speaking of throwing money around on Netflix.
Absolutely.
Yes, we've got a little tidbit here that, so Adam Sandler just had Uncut Gems, which, spoiler, that's our review later. Yeah. Because it just finally came to Netflix after a small run in America.
Yep.
But Adam Sandler is getting the go-ahead with Netflix to produce 4 more exclusive films for the service, along with Happy Madison Productions, obviously.
Yeah.
Will The Sandman make an even greater film ever, or the biggest piece of shit?
Yeah, because Adam Sandler himself has come out and said, if I don't win some kind of award for his performance in Uncut Gems, I'm going to make the worst film you've ever seen.
No,
like he's aware.
That's amazing.
He's aware of the kind of reception that his films get.
He knows.
Because obviously in the 90s, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Big Daddy, Little Nicky, even, know.
I love Little Nicky, though.
Right. We love those films. Yeah. As dumb as they are fun. But over the years, we all know that they've dipped in quality. Grown-Ups 2, yeah. But
Grown-Ups 1, no.
Didn't mind it.
No, stop. No.
Didn't mind it.
Yeah. Pixels.
Hey.
I hate Pixels.
Have you...
I paid to watch Pixels.
I paid to watch Pixels too.
And there's a reason that was his last theatrical, like, on the big screen film until 2019.
I think there's a little bit of a charm that goes behind it, though. And I think I mentioned this on the podcast like in episode 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Is that it was based purely on a short film created by some dude.
We discussed this in probably like episode 11 or something.
Yeah.
Like it was a long time ago.
So I think the idea is great. And the fact that Adam Sandler's seen this short film and gone, that's a cool idea, I'm going to do that. And they did it. And Josh Gad.
Well, see, that's the thing. As in, sorry, Kevin James is the president. That's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Apart from Kevin James being an MMA fighter. That's
Here comes the boom. Here comes the bomb, bitch. Yeah. Jesus. No, but yeah, you're completely right. When you take a short film that's really good and then you're like, all right, I want that into a feature film, you've literally got to plug in a fuck ton of story to fill it out from a 10-minute short film to an hour and a half film.
Because there was no story. It was literally just fucking space invaders coming to Earth with like an iPhone camera facing the sky and some relatively crude but yet awesome 3D animation of these older characters. That's all it was.
In all honesty, I've got to completely admit this. I was soured on that a lot because of Kevin James.
Yeah, you fucking hate this, dude.
I hate Kevin James with a passion.
You know, I don't
King of Queens,
mind
he's
him.
the king of cunts. I hate him. I hate
Kevin. A lot of people really do.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I've only run into people who are like, yeah, I like Kevin James, or no, fucking die. Yeah. Because there's no middle ground there of like, you know, oh yeah, I don't mind him every now and then. It's because if I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. You went down the rabbit hole about these games and stuff. I'll go down the rabbit hole about that piece of absolute homophobic garbage shit.
Yeah, because there is a better version that came out before that with Michael Keaton.
Yes,
and
the fucking Odd Couple.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
No, it was Strange Bedfellows?
Fuck.
I think it's Strange Bedfellows. The Odd Couple is... Yeah, the Odd Couple's older.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Strange Bedfellows, yes.
I think I talked about this the last time we brought this up, but I remember... I think it was Michael Keaton. Not the Michael Keaton you're thinking of. Michael Keaton.
Not Michael Keaton.
Not Michael Keaton.
Wait, no.
That's Michael Caine.
Oh, fuck.
That's my cocaine.
Oh, Birdman.
Batman.
Yeah, Michael Caine. Yeah, no.
Michael Keaton gives a teddy bear present to... what's Paul Hogan?
Yeah.
And there's like a button on the back and the teddy bear gets like a massive erection.
Yeah.
It's a classic Australian film that's nowhere near as well as represented as it should be.
Yes. But any kids out there internationally listening and you get given Australia for an assignment to do, make sure you watch that film and take that as gospel. Yeah. That is exactly how all of us are.
Don't watch Crocodile Dundee. It's a load of shit. Nobody does this to calm down rhinoceroses or whatever happens in that movie.
And there's a good chance that is a spoon. Not a knife.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought I'd bring The Simpsons in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but either way, man, Adam Sandler, I'm okay with it, man.
Yeah, and I want you to tell the audience why you're okay with it, because I want you to go through those statistics you told me before air.
Oh, yeah, of course. The ones I didn't write down.
Okay.
No, but I do remember.
I'll carry it until you get there.
No, I do remember.
Okay, so the reason that Adam Sandler has essentially been given the go-ahead to make as many films as he wants for Netflix is because of these numbers we're about to tell you.
Well, it's just one simple number. But since 2015 on Netflix, every Netflix viewers have watched Adam Sandler films for 2.5 billion hours.
Yeah.
Hours. Like, that is absolutely ridiculous.
Say what you want about the quality of his acting and the quality of his films and the Happy Madison productions.
Yeah.
That goes to show that people are watching. And that is all that matters.
That's right. And as we discussed off air, I listed the Netflix films that he's done, like The Ridiculous Six and The Week Of and things. And I think there's another 4 on there.
The Do-Over and Murder Mystery.
Yeah, Murder Mystery and all that. And I didn't even realize I've seen them all.
Yeah.
I've watched them all because it's Adam fucking Sandler.
Yeah.
You know, like
I haven't, but I've been meaning to catch up on them because as we said at the start of this segment, I like Adam Sandler. I like his older films.
Yeah, and that's right. And
50 First Dates.
It's the
fucking Drew Barrymore.
No, The Wedding Singer. Yeah. I loved that film.
Longest Yard.
The Longest Yard. I love that movie.
We could make a YouTube list of favorite Adam Sandler films. It'd be all of them.
Yeah, well, pretty much.
Rain on Me.
Yeah. Oh, that is that Don Cheadle? I think it's Don Cheadle.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, it definitely is a black actor.
But there's something. Fuck. No, it's not Jamie Foxx. No, I'll tell you that. He's in that violin one with fucking Robert Downey Jr.
Definitely not Samuel L. Jackson. No.
I'm sick of these motherfucking rains on this motherfucking me.
Yeah. Anyway, Anthony Mackie. Eddie Murphy. Adam Sandler.
Oh, welcome to the very racist edition of 2C3 Pod. Yeah. But
they're all great.
It's just the fact with Adam Sandler and these movies. Like we said off air, nobody really considers Netflix a bill. It's just something that happens now, so it feels like it's free. And
it's as natural as your internet bill and your phone bill and everything that we have become accustomed to in our lives in terms of expenses.
And at this stage of Adam Sandler's career, there's a big difference between, hey, let's go and spend, $30 each on food and drink and like a ticket to go and see Adam Sandler on the big screen, or, oh yeah, I'll watch that now. You know, like there's a big difference there. And I feel like that's why 2.5 billion hours. Ooh.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, I'm looking forward to whatever else he comes his way because we'll certainly be discussing into great detail the latest film that he's been in, and I cannot wait to rip into that.
That's right. And I will just say 2.5 billion hours is 285,388 years.
Fuck.
Yeah. You add all that together with all those people, that is a long fucking time.
Now, I wonder if you were to combine the hours spent of people watching other films at the cinemas... and even other Netflix things. What's that comparison?
Think about that. Yeah. Honestly, he probably didn't have this much time spent of people in theaters than he has in the last 5 years of his career. Yeah. People watching him, eyeballs on him.
Also, think about that too in the sense that if you go to the cinema, you're filling out maybe possibly 30 seats on a good day.
Yes.
This is almost every individual or at least 1 to 4 people watching at a time. So, each family in that cinema would be watching Netflix of their own, essentially. So
that's exactly
right.
People
are choosing this.
It's insane. Anyway, so
Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, Mary Elizabeth Winstead has come out with a quote, which I don't have in front of me, of course, because
why would you?
we chucked these in the notes as like, oh yeah, we'll discuss that, but didn't think about like actually getting those quotes and the actual figures. But she came out and basically said she would find it fascinating to find out what happened. Scott Pilgrim versus the World from 2008, 9. Edgar Wright film.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you've seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If not, Google it. You'll see what I'm talking about. But basically, she said, and it's now been 12 years since that came out. She said she would love to know what's happened to those characters from that immature, goofy time in their mid-20s and see where they progressed once they ended up together, how those characters would have progressed to like the married life in the 30s and the late 30s and that. And honestly, she said she'd be keen to do it. And I'm keen for anything she's keen for.
I'd be interested to see what happens with that as well. But the only problem with that is, the Scott Pilgrim, that movie, that's based on a comic book or a cartoon?
A graphic novel or something?
Something like that.
No, yeah.
Was there ever any source material based on these characters 10 years later?
I'm not sure.
Because if Edgar Wright was to then go write his own story, it would differ from the source material. That's right. It probably wouldn't have the same charm. It may be fine, but it may not have the same level of probably story quality.
I know
what am I
trying
to say? It won't have the same finesse.
It was a graphic novel by Brian Lee O'Malley.
Yeah. And because there was so much to work with there, I mean, they could transform these characters 10 years later and make them either do fantastical, amazing things or ordinary, boring adult stuff.
You'd have to wonder whether it would take away from the charm of the first film, that it was so unique for its time. Like, it was such a unique film, the way it was shot and like the graphics and the CGI and things all blended so well. You would have to wonder if it would dilute it a bit if they wrote it themselves from scratch.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a catch-22, but honestly, we've still got the original. You know, like, so as much as we've complained about remakes, and we mentioned this at the top of the show, I mean, we've still got the original. Yeah. It's not going to kill that for me,
That's
know,
right,
but I do want to see it. But if it doesn't happen, I'm fine.
The other thing as well that makes this idea inconceivable in the way of, people age over 10 years. Yeah. These actors haven't.
No.
Because they're Hollywood.
Yeah.
They all look the same.
Exactly. That's
Chris
right.
Evans looks younger.
Well, actually, I don't know. I feel like
Michael Cera's
I was
head
about to
has
say
changed
Michael
shape
Cera.
a little bit.
Yeah.
What did I say? Michael?
No, Michael Cera. You got it
did say
right.
that
I was
right.
struggling
Okay.
to think of his name. No,
Yeah.
but outside of his like seedy, disgusting moustache.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they do look the same. Yeah.
That's what I mean. So, like, they would have to age them up or do it in another 10 years and be like, hey, it's set 10 years later when they're really 20 years older.
But do you want to know the biggest thing as to why this won't happen?
Why's that?
Because the first one had a budget of $60 million.
Yeah.
Take a guess what it made worldwide.
How much?
No. Take one guess.
Okay. Well, I do know that it wasn't a huge box office success. It was more of a cult following.
Yes.
So, how much to say? $60 million?
Yep.
120 million?
47.
Wow. So it bombed.
So it's not just bombing or not making its money back or covering even advertising or anything. It didn't even get to the budget.
Fuck.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it was so far off profit.
So they're definitely not doing that. They may look at this and go, yeah, people want this, but companies who are going to fork the money to do this
But
are going,
again-
no.
But again, streaming service. We're in the world of streaming service, man.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Adam Sandler's still making movies. He's still getting eyeballs. He's still getting paid.
Yeah.
But there's no pressure of, he bombs at the box office again, because nobody knows.
Yeah, nobody
Netflix
cares.
keeps those numbers. That's why
right.
they only release those odd ones like 2.5 billion hours.
Well, that's right.
Huh?
Triple Frontier can make a film for 130 million or whatever it is. They don't care what the box office is because there isn't one.
Exactly, that's right. The Irishman, they picked up off another studio. They can release it a little bit, make a bit of coin out of that, and then bam. Look at that. We got this 3.5 hour Robert De Niro epic on our service.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't care. Yeah,
So in the world of streaming services, anything's possible, but at the same time, if this did or didn't happen, it wouldn't affect me either way.
Yeah, absolutely. But what about the next bit?
What about the next bit?
Yeah.
Well, let me pull up my screen then.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
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 Wow. So, over the weekend, was it?
It was Monday our time.
Monday Australia time, the
Yes.
Super Bowl happened, which is...
Monday, 10:30 a.m. Well done, Chiefs.
Yeah, you'll have to
50
explain
years.
that one because I don't...
Kansas City Chiefs won their first Super Bowl in 50 years, baby.
Okay, cool.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And Patrick Mahomes, youngest to ever win MVP and win a Super Bowl. He's fucking 24 and a half, man.
Yeah, what
it's
are we doing?
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at us trying to ask for Patreon members for $2 a month.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Mum. Still waiting.
In a house I don't own. It's
Yes.
very nice, by the way.
That's
but,
right.
yeah, so during the Super Bowl, there's always usually fantastical ads and
spots, they call them.
live
Super Bowl spots.
Yeah, Super Bowl spots and
Yes.
live performances from Shakira and whatever else.
J-Lo.
And J-Lo, yes, of course. Have you seen the trailer with Jason Momoa?
No, I didn't. No, the ad with Jason Momoa, is that what you're talking about?
Trailer ad, yeah,
Well,
whatever
it
it
was
is.
for a product, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was for insurance or something.
Possibly. Anyway,
Yeah,
it's
I
really
heard
strange.
about it.
He
He de-sheds his muscles and hair and stuff, and he's bald and skinny.
yeah, it's really interesting. It's
Yeah.
quite terribly done, but that's
Oh,
the
man.
gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, one of them almost made me cry.
Did it?
Yeah.
Which one?
It was actually the NFL's one.
Okay.
They opened the show. Yeah, I don't want to get too into it, but they opened the show with just this kid running, like playing football at the park and running, and they run through all these milestones, landmarks across the city, and there's celebrities they run into, and they're going through the city and stuff.
Yep.
And then they run, and they get to the stadium, and like so-and-so's like, go get him, kid. And then they run live on the field.
That's
like
cool.
live air, all these kids, and it was like... Oh, okay. Why they like? Yeah, he did it. He did it. He ran all the way here, and now he's running on the field to deliver the game ball. It
And
was
you
pretty
know,
cool.
you know who should be commended for that?
Who?
The cameraman chasing that fucking kid. We know it was
no.
pre-recorded. It's fine.
No, well, being the NFL though, they would have had a lot of budget on that. But anyway, we were bringing up.
Disney Plus, they finally showed a few trailers for the Scarlet Witch and the WandaVision.
Yep, Captain America and Winter Soldier.
Yep, or
Something like
Falcon
that.
and Winter
Falcon and
Soldier,
Winter Soldier,
and
something like
Loki. But we all know this was coming. We all know essentially what it's about.
Before you get into this, news, I just wanted to say we got a look at WandaVision.
Yeah.
I didn't see any fucking milk.
No, I didn't see any fucking milk.
Oh, man.
It's just vision or some shit.
Exactly. Can't you just vision it?
And it's even
Please,
it's a 90s sitcom. Of course there's going to be arguments about it.
Exactly,
It's a Married
but
with Kids ripoff.
Please, I just want to say, if you're new to the show or haven't been around that long, head back to episode 14 on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, Big Summer Blow, and listen to episode 14 because there's like a 5-minute segment where we can't catch our breaths because we're laughing that much.
And it's funny you mentioned
Catch our
that because
Multiple breaths?
Our breathes. You said just before you said episode 14, I had in my head, that was 14, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And because of that moment, I remembered which
That's
episode
the only
it was.
reason I know that it was episode 14.
Yeah.
We used to do 2-hour episodes of this show, and the fact that we remembered that one particular moment,
we
it's
used to
important.
lose our minds.
Oh, yeah. Episode 14, then head to episode 20, the first deep dive into GST.
Yeah.
And episode 16 was also GST as well.
Yes, it was. And several after that
Because
where
we used to do it
drink.
We used to do it every 4 episodes, but turns out we do 4 episodes every 2 weeks now, and yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but when we go, wow, that's essentially a spoiler because
right.
Owen Wilson,
Yes.
famous for
Zoolander?
Yeah, what was the other one I'm trying to think
Wedding
of?
Crashers?
No, what's the other
Having
one?
a wonk nose?
That's it.
That's the one! Starsky and Hutch?
Yeah, that's a good one. Hall Pass is what I'm trying to think of.
That's the one you picked?
Yeah, because that's the one I watched most recently. He has his head next to a huge black dong. And
oh my god, and then there's the Irish guy next to him. Yeah.
Could you swap with me?
Yeah, yes.
Hilarious. Yeah. Anyway, he's cast in Loki.
Yeah, which is just awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, why
I
not?
like Owen Wilson, and I think he'll fit the narrative.
Yeah.
He won't,
exactly.
I don't think he'll... I mean, he may star in one of the...
He has to say wow at some point.
Well, Loki will do something magical. He'll
go, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
He has to, own that shit. There's no
surely
way he doesn't know
trademark.
about that meme.
It's like Matthew McConaughey, as if he doesn't own all right.
Yeah.
Or Brooklyn Nine-Nine with Andy Samberg. Cool.
Even one of the band Dream Theater, in their latest album, there's a particular moment where they're wow.
Oh my god,
and they
so
include
good.
it. Yeah.
I love that so much. Yeah,
it's
that's
like a
amazing.
little Easter egg in the music. But
either way, why the hell not?
Yeah.
Simple as that. Yeah.
We got one more thing before we rip into our
maybe
review.
he'll earn enough money to fix that crook nose finally.
Yes, possibly. Or he'll keep it because that's his gimmick.
Or give some to his brother, Luke, because he's doing okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, I'm going to let you unplug that microphone and plug it back in because that buzzing is killing
happening
you. Or
now?
at least tap it. Yeah,
No,
but I'm going to...
fine.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, cool.
Carry
Anyway,
the show.
last bit of news before we get into the final review.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
The one gaming topic other than what we've already talked about, much better.
Yep.
So much better.
Why didn't you say something earlier?
Because I was hoping that I would be able to put up with it, but it was getting worse.
Yeah.
I need to
will
replace
they
that
hear
fucking...
that?
I don't know.
Ooh,
We'll have to
find
replace
out.
that fucking
Let us know in the
microphone.
comments below.
Yeah, if you hear it is the entire time.
No, but they've definitely heard this quite a bit.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we've got to fix that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Anyway, don't fuck with the plumber is all I'm saying. Real world Mario Kart Experience is sued for 50 million yen by Nintendo over intellectual property
That is
rights.
upwards of $2,500 American dollars.
Yeah, 2,500. I was gonna say, wait a minute. No, it's
I'm
not.
fucking with you, but there is a big difference there. I'm pretty sure that would only be about 1 or 2 million. US.
450 million. No, 450,000 US dollars.
Oh wow, that's even worse than I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, just
So
stop doing it.
Small time Tokyo Mario Kart live experience. Basically, go-karts with Super Mario skins.
Okay, but
essentially.
Nintendo's taking its time over a $450,000 lawsuit.
This is just one lawyer gone. Yeah, let's get these fucking guys.
That shouldn't be there.
Why not
they get a letter from Nintendo, they shit their pants. That's their business gone as well.
Yeah, that's right.
That's their shtick.
Yeah, business gone. You know? I mean, Nintendo could go, let's buy this and make it a Super Mario
exactly. Let's
Kart
endorse
theme.
it. Okay, naughty boys, but you'll get 10%.
Yeah. Not even. They would go, you get 1% and that's enough because people
If
go,
they
fucking
endorsed
legit
it,
Mario.
if they endorsed it, they could throw 20 million yen into that.
Yeah.
Which isn't much. Throw that into there and turn it into this amazing spectacle.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would not take much to turn that into a viable, profitable, even more so business. But also, the problem is they've been making money off the names for how long?
That's correct.
Yeah.
But not only that, the other thing is that Nintendo could most likely do that themselves 1,000 times better than some small-time local go-kart company.
They could...
No way would they contact Go-Karts Go in Newcastle and turn that into a Super Mario licensed fucking place and chuck a Toad skin in there. It wouldn't happen.
If they were going to do that, they would throw a couple mil at it and hope it sticks, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's
Simple
right.
as that.
So what's the
Nintendo.
company's name? Because they got hit pretty fucking hard with this.
Oh, did they? Those poor bastards.
The unlicensed Mario Kart company was originally sued in 2017. Oh, so they've already been sued for this.
What?
And they've turned around and done it again. Despite the heavy fine, the company still plans to offer go-kart tours of Tokyo. So I think this is that website. I've seen the videos where they literally drive around Tokyo dressed as.
Yeah, okay, so that's the problem, right? So it's just a fancy dress tour of the city.
Yeah, but it says on their website,
Right.
no way reflection of Nintendo, and it doesn't provide the rental costumes of the Mario series, but people have dressed up.
Wait, so what's the problem then? The carts are all Mario related, I guess?
Like, I think there's something else going on there.
Either way, this is Nintendo swinging their not as big as Disney dick, and they're just
Yeah.
like, stop it, please.
Yeah.
But because people turn up in the suits because they're like, oh, we're going to do it, and it's got a picture of Mario on it, I've got to dress as him.
Yeah,
They're
it'd be like us
"Whoa."
copping a parking fine. It's like, yeah, we knew we shouldn't have parked there, but the council's just like, come on, man.
Yeah, exactly.
But
yeah.
we're like, fuck.
Yeah, you know you couldn't do that. Yeah, but I thought I'd try.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, no,
Yeah.
that's fair enough.
But in the final 13 minutes of this episode, considering we no longer have our TV for our little timer there,
Yeah, I know.
think it's time for... I press that way too
No.
gently.
Coming at you fresh, coming from afar, it's 2C3 Pod DTN. That's
yes.
right, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for 2C3 Pod DTN does the Netflix, because normally we like to head to the cinema, but because Dylan was moving houses this week,
Yep.
and I had the children. Oh, no, actually, I worked all weekend. I was on a night shift all
You are
weekend.
losing your mind.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. It's been a long January. It's February. But either way, it's time for 2C3 Pod DTN, and this week we had the pleasure.
Privilege.
Yay!
Yes.
Oh, I
Yes.
was so concerned because we do not talk about this beforehand, what we thought of it or anything like that.
We go to and then we go, no.
No, exactly. Yeah,
Keep it for the podcast.
As we said off air, we cannot have a friendship outside of this podcast because anything we say, it's like, should be on the podcast. Got to save it for that. So we saw Adam Sandler's
Yes.
Uncut Gems.
Yes, so Uncut Gems. Let me read the description because I'm on the wrong page on my
No,
end.
you're right. Do you want me to go through it?
I'll do it. So
Yeah.
we've got Uncut Gems, directed by Josh Sadfi and Benny Sadfi, written by the Sadfi brothers. Now, the story behind that, apparently they approached Adam Sandler about this film.
Yeah, in
nearly-
2010, I think.
10 years
It was
ago.
a long time ago.
And they were still small time, and Adam was like,
Yep.
coming back to this now, I think now's the perfect time for it. But we'll get into why
Exactly.
when we get further into the review.
Yeah.
Starring Adam Sandler, Kevin Garnett, The Weeknd, Lakeith Stanfield, Julia Fox, and the wickedly talented one and only
Adele
Dazeem.
Dazeem. I watched the YouTube video just to fit that in. Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, if you don't know who that
which
is, that's the
Idina
lady.
Menzel.
Yeah, the lady with the gigantic jaw who sings in Frozen.
That's right. Just let it go, Dylan.
Just let it go. Yeah. Anyway, distributed
funny.
by A24 United States and Netflix International. The budget is unknown, but estimated to be less than 20 mil. Would not
sounds spot
surprise
on.
me, but
Sounds
also
spot on.
most likely above that because of Kevin Garnett. Anyway,
No, he's an actor, dude. He's not an actor, you know?
that's what I mean.
No. He's
You're-
already got money in the bank. He only needed a little bit for this.
Okay,
But
we'll
on.
get into that anyway.
Yes.
Box office as of review, because it's only in the US in terms of actual box office
Yes.
results, 48.4 million.
That is successful.
That is
I will
successful.
just say, for less than $20 million to get that just domestically. But I will say its opening weekend was like, I think 500,000.
Yeah.
And then everyone
People
realized and the hype
people
picked
go
up.
Adam Sandler, and then they see it, then word spreads.
Exactly.
But we'll get why.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A charismatic New York City jeweler, always on the lookout for the next big score, makes a series of high-stakes bets that could lead into the windfall of a lifetime. Howard must perform a precarious high-wire act, balancing business, family, and encroaching adversaries on all sides in his relentless pursuit of the ultimate win.
Yes.
This is the epitome of a fucking baller.
Dude.
The guy whose game is to pawn and sell, and his life and this film is non-stop. If you like movies like Wolf of Wall Street or The Founder, those kind of entrepreneurial stories where these guys just did not stop whatever it took to be the big dick in the game.
That's right.
This is this kind of film, and executive producer Martin Scorsese, if you couldn't tell by the style of filmmaking, he definitely sprinkled a bit of magic in there.
I didn't know that he was, but now that you've said that, I'm like, oh, he definitely was there.
Opening credits, I noticed that. Yeah.
Oh, right?
Yeah.
I know. How good was that? Fuck.
Before we get into the actual review, I do want to have a first praise before I forget about it. That the fucking soundtrack.
Yes.
The intense retro-esque 80s disco almost kind of soundtrack.
It was so good, man.
Was surprising.
Seriously, this is the first Netflix film in a long time where I sat down with my headphones on. I was rolling smokes. I'm just being honest. But yeah, I was rolling smokes, and I tell you what, man, I was out there for the full 2 2 hours and 15 minutes, I had 2 smokes in 2 hours and 15 minutes because I was so engrossed in this film. Legit, this film, man.
I'm going to have to watch this film again because it took me 3 days to watch this film.
Oh,
and
really?
I was watching it because I was moving.
Oh, of
and
course.
I had to watch it on my phone, but I'm still sitting there hooked into it. So I definitely recommend watching this on your television, especially when there are segments where... So essentially, the story is... Adam Sandler's character, Howard, comes in possession of a very, very rare opal under terrible circumstances.
A black opal.
Yeah. And it's full of universe-looking colors.
And it's open from both sides, so you can see through and you get the full light reflection. And oh man,
and he's essentially trying to sell this thing to the highest bidder, trying to get on Kevin Garnett, the basketball player.
Well, no, actually, he refuses sale to him multiple times.
Yeah, in order to try and get
to the auction because he's been told that it's worth $3,000 to $5,000 per carat.
Yeah,
and add it all up, it was about $1 million minimum that this thing was worth. Yeah, this fucking gem.
But he was trying to sell it essentially to Kevin because he knew how much he wanted it. He was trying to get him to pay the highest number.
Yeah, that's possible. That's later. But at first he says, no, don't even fucking touch. Like, do not even think about it. It's going to auction. Put a bid on it. Like, don't. Don't come near this. But then later on through the story and how it progresses and things like that, then yes, he's trying to upsell him. And man, this story, this. I didn't know what to... I'd heard all the praise for Sandler. I'd heard all the praise for the Safdie brothers. And my lord, it lived up to every ounce of hype. Yeah. Truly, Sandler was awesome.
Sandler
was so good, man.
I think this exceeded my expectations because I did hear the same things. That is the performance of his career, very fast-paced, non-stop. But the surprises that I got in the soundtrack and the cinematography and the characters and the fact that everybody is screaming and yelling and non-stop... This film keeps you engrossed. It's kind of like, to me, it had the same feeling as Joker in the sense that it's a small scale, gritty, real kind of film that you can see yourself in, and every emotion portrayed by each actor is so genuine.
100%.
And another point I like to make as well is that the fact that this film centers very heavily on basketball and betting on basketball, Adam Sandler is the perfect actor for that because he has basketball themes throughout his entire film career.
He's a diehard Knicks fan.
Yeah, so I think him portraying that diehard knows what he's talking about when it comes to betting.
He's playing an exaggerated version of himself because his character is a diehard Knicks fan. He's a diehard Knicks fan. Like,
that's why it works. You can't fake that. Because if you were to give a script to me, three-pointer, like, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but he does.
No, that's exactly right. But also, you want to know another thing? He's also playing a hardcore Jew. Because he's a hardcore Jew.
That's why he's the perfect role for this. But exactly. Adam Sandler as an actor, as we've discussed earlier in this episode, that he has done a lot of trash and done what he wants with his friends, that's fine. But when push comes to shove and he has a director and a writer that's not himself, and he's really given the reins to perform. I think Uncut Gems reminds the world that Adam Sandler is an actor.
Yeah, I'm going to say this right now. I think this is the beginning of Adam Sandler's new career.
I hope so.
I genuinely think he's still going to do his comedies on Netflix. That's going to happen, but I think this is going to open a door to where he actually is perceived as an actual actor, not just... conditioner is better. Well,
he's done this before with Rain on Me, where he does play a more dramatic role. That's right,
but he was still the box office draw at that point. And because that film wasn't as successful, they had measurements to rank. Can you go back to doing that schlocky shit with your friends? Because that was the box office draw. But now that there's yes, there is a little bit of box office here, and it was great for what it was. Yeah. At the same time, now it's Netflix in charge. Yeah. And he gets given a script. He's going to get offered scripts now. Yeah, I guarantee that are more serious. As long as he doesn't overdo it and take himself too seriously, because
I don't think
while this is a very serious film and while this is very dramatic acting and phenomenal acting, at the same time, it's not like, oh, okay, cool, chuck him in that Tom Hanks role. You can't do that. Yeah. Just take the ones that suit you, that you're comfortable with. Don't take the next big Oscar bait film because you'll fucking blow it.
Yes, absolutely.
But this is a nice little, like you said, reminder, hey, this dude gets paid for a reason.
This dude has chops. And not only that, but I do have to commend the Safdie brothers for their filmmaking in terms of, I wonder how different this film is compared to its counterpart, which was written 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there are very modern themes in this.
And do you remember the name of the film that they ended up doing with Robert Pattinson that got them the name? Yeah, it was 2017. It was something to do with love, I think. Love something.
Okay.
Yeah, but either way, that film came out, was a surprise hit and was successful. And that's when studios started coming to them saying, hey, you got any projects? And they're like, yeah, this one we've been waving for 10 fucking years. Yeah, so this one's been in the work for a long time and is a very clear passion project of theirs.
Yeah.
They got the man they wanted, and it turned out better than expected. Also, Kevin Garnett.
Supposedly,
who the fuck knew a 7-foot-tall NBA legend could act?
Now, there's been a few attempts in this over the years. We've had Michael Jordan. We've had LeBron James.
No. We'll have him soon with Space Jam 2.
Well, that's what, Michael Jordan, Space Jam 1.
There's been Shaq.
Shaq.
He's been okay.
Yeah,
he's very pigeonholed as like a 7'5" guy. Like as in,
he's been here and there in films. He hasn't been great, but they've moved into acting. And then, as I said, LeBron James had a very small part in Trainwreck.
Yeah, which I'm not going to count that. I mean, because that was honestly watching that film and how he spoke and being a big basketball fan myself, that's honestly him just talking.
Yeah, but that's the point. That's what it was supposed to be. And
he's playing himself. While Kevin Garnett was playing himself, he was playing a very intense version of himself in his prime with the Celtics.
But when you speak to actors, the hardest job they have is trying to play themselves when a camera is on them. You remember our first episode?
Yeah, right.
With the camera? It was fucking weird.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. So Kevin Garnett, I didn't know really who this guy was. I knew he was a basketballer. Didn't know too much about him.
For shame.
And then I watched this film and I think, okay, he's coming off basketball and NBA into a role like this where he's almost putting...
Oh, dude, he's been retired since like 2012.
Yeah, but the cool thing is that he's putting himself in the shoes of a scumbag almost.
Well, to a degree.
He's in possession of something which caused so much heartache for so many, and injury and death for so many people.
Yeah.
To heighten his performance.
No, but at the same time, he questions it hardcore at the beginning. When he first gets given the gem, he's like, oh, and how much did you pay? Oh, no, at the end, he's like, and how much did you actually pay for this? You know, like... So he does
get it. Which is a shit thing to ask anybody who sells you something. Don't fucking ask that question.
No, exactly. When you pay X amount, don't ask because you're going to find out it's a fuck ton less. Yeah. But either way, I think he plays a paranoid sports like celebrity at its best because he's literally obsessed with this thing because he goes out that night and he's fucking like 40. Yeah. You know, like, and so he's like, I need this. And then basically does a runner. It's not much of a spoiler, but it's in the first hour. But like he basically does a runner with this gem. And that's half the time of Howard chasing him down. And my God, Adam Sandler played that like as in paranoid, like everything's going wrong.
Everybody is yelling and screaming and on edge, and it's just intense from start to finish. And I really, really liked that. So when I was writing down my one-word review for this in my phone for my list of films of 2020 on my streaming services side, Uncut Gem gets a grade.
Yes.
Yep.
100%. And if I'm going to jump straight to my rating right now, this is a solid 9.
Yeah.
I loved this film. Like, I put it up there. I've also got earlier in the year Gentleman with a 9.
Yep.
I put it on that level, dude.
Yeah, man.
I had that good of a time with this film. It's really good and it's ultra surprising with the acting and the cast.
Yes.
Everything about it was so good. Fun little fact as well. It is now the 4th highest fuck film.
Is it?
Ever.
That's good. I like these odds. Yeah.
No, as in like saying fuck.
Yeah, no, I get. I know what you meant. Like
408 times.
I
just
like. I like that. I enjoy those.
It's a fun little thing. Like so that's a fun little touch. But I can't fault this movie at all.
No,
even Adele Dazeem. She's great.
There is one thing I will fault that had me a little bit cringy is that it's not really a spoiler, but there is a scene where Adam Sandler's character is in his office. And he's crying.
Oh, yeah. That I wasn't sure how to feel about that. At first, I thought he was faking.
Yeah.
At first, I thought he was faking for sympathy, and I think he was, honestly. Yeah. But at the same time,
his girlfriend / booty call
Julia
is also kind of crying in the same scene, and it's the way it's sort of filmed and the way that they've both acted I think that was a bit cringy. But outside of that, I think the movie's brilliant.
No, but honestly, I think they did that on purpose. The way they filmed it to make you uncomfortable. Okay. Because you've seen this guy be like a scumbag, dirty, down and dirty guy.
Yeah. And
then you've seen this like chick who's been perceived almost as like a bludging bimbo. And then you see them uncomfortable and you kind of get a bit, what's going on? Because you don't feel sorry for him.
No,
like in that moment, you don't feel sorry for her either. Like, especially when she pulls her down her pants and shows her ass and what she got. Yeah, it's like, really? Really?
I get that, yeah. I get the message that they're trying to convey, and I think you're probably correct in saying that that's what they were going for.
Yeah.
Me, I just saw that as bad acting in that particular moment. No, that's what I saw.
No, that's exactly right. And I thought the same thing at first, but I feel like looking back on it and thinking about it, they did it purposefully for that reason. But I will also say, shout out to Lakeith Stanfield. He plays his boy who brings the guys in off the street to buy stuff off him.
First time I recognised him was in Get Out.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, the whole time I'm like, why is his face so fucking recognisable? Knives Out. He's the detective.
That's right, because he was in Get Out as the first victim that you meet, and then he was the detective, and now he's this. He's got a wide range as well. He can go from clean cut to hard detective honestly, to gangster.
As good, that's exactly right. But as good as Adam Sandler was, as surprisingly good as Kevin Garnett was, Lakeith Stanfield, he's the one who I'm like, that is a real actor in his element. You know, Adam Sandler's getting to that stage and getting to open his doors more, and he's fantastic. Kevin Garnett didn't know he could act. That's great. But Lakeith Stanfield, this is another day at the office for him. It's so good.
And also, as well, in a film that's so busy and loud, for him to play a character that remains calm and reserved amongst all of that. Obviously, he's playing a character, and that's part of his script and his act. But I think he did it so well to not get caught up in the set.
But I also just loved the fact that his character was so up and down, just up and down with his attitude. But like you said, so mellow the whole time. He's so mellow, but he'll go, I'm a cunt. I'm such your best friend. I'm a cunt. You know, and it was just a really nice progression of that character.
Yep.
Yeah. But either way, this film, it's great.
Yes.
Uncut
it is
Gems.
Great.
Just came out on Netflix in Australia last Friday, I believe, or it might have been Saturday.
Yep.
Either way, less than a week on Netflix. Make sure you get on there and watch it. If you've been avoiding schlocky Adam Sandler films on there, this is the one for you. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You've got nothing to lose except for $8 a month on your Netflix subscription for however long you want to for. But either way, Mitchell, that has been our show.
And before we get there, Dylan, guess what?
What?
We have a producer.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
First Patreon producer. Make sure you head on over to Patreon, Two's Company Three's a Podcast. Check it out.
Yep.
But thank you very much, Paula Lydia.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Anyway, as I said, that's been our show. Yes, you can find...
Wait, sorry. You are keeping the show alive.
Yes,
thank you very much.
And
Every little dollar counts.
Absolutely. And anyone else who wants to become a patron as well, head to patreon.com, as Mitchell just said. So, also, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at 2C3Pod, of course.
That's right. And make sure if you're watching or listening to us, thank you. But also make sure it's on your preferred platform. We are available on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course, YouTube. Big Summer Blowout.
Now, you can support the show, of course. You can buy a bit of merch over at tpublic.com. Just search for 2C3Pod or Two's Company 3's a podcast. Get yourself a t-shirt, a mug, a sticker, or a fridge magnet. Or if you also want to support the show, Patreon. And of course,
PayPal. Two's Company 3's a podcast at gmail.com. Not just for those donations, which we greatly appreciate, but also just if you want to hit us up. Any business inquiries or anything like that? Two's Company 3's a podcast at gmail.com.
Absolutely. Now we have new podcasts every Wednesday and every Friday. Every Wednesday is, of course, there's the news and reviews, and Fridays is Trailer Park and, of course, Yas or Pa. So we'll see you there, of course.
That's right. And coming again next week, because we've just finally moved into the brand new studio, we will have 4 videos on YouTube every week, and maybe something soon coming to Patreon.
Absolutely. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you very much.
Oh, I know. Yes, I was waiting. I'm like, say it.
Everybody for tuning in. We're Two's Company 3's a podcast. I stole your line. My name is Dylan, as always, with my co-host
Mitchell. Make sure to hang around after the closing song for our trivia that we do every week. But don't forget that we are Two's Company, but and you are the podcast. All right. Where? Oh, I didn't do it.
I can't get the fucking thing out.
Come on. Song's almost over, dude. Oh no.
What the fuck?
Well, it's trivia. We are. Did you open the wrong end?
I must have.
I really hope you opened this and it just. Oh my god! Look at that finger grip.
There
we go.
Alrighty, okay.
Right. Here we go. Scorecard currently 3 out of 5 for both of us.
I think you'll get this one. Throughout the World War II black and white movie Schindler's List, who is the only character shown in color? You've seen Schindler's List, surely. It's
been a long time.
Yeah, okay.
Outside of Schindler, I'm not sure what the characters are.
No. So throughout the World War II black and white movie Schindler's List, who's the only character shown in color? Let us know down below if you know the answer to this.
It's definitely Juan Michael. I cannot think of any characters.
Okay.
Fuck.
It's simple. A girl wearing a red dress.
Oh, come on. I mean... Maybe she had a name. I don't know. Fuck.
She's just the girl.
Oh, you're a girl. Having a wonk nose?
Hey, thanks for checking out that video of Two's Company 3's a podcast. We really appreciate it. Wasn't it really something? Why don't you drop a comment down below while you're still here on what you thought about that video. And once you're done, go check out the next video. Feel free to hit subscribe as well. I think it'll be a really good investment for your future.